Emily Parker, age 6, woke up on a Friday in January to God smiling at her. Brushed sleep from her little eyes with little hands, her daddy picked her up with big hands and twirled her around. Before leaving for school, his big hands packed her backpack for her, lunch and markers to draw with. Her friends all had little shining eyes and soft cheeks too, young eardrums that heard the PA system crackle on first. All their hands were small and new, palms about the size of their eyes and ears, but no one told them which ones to cover first, so they just grabbed each other with hands barely big enough to pinch out vases of clay that get crushed in backpacks, but their backpacks never made it home, so there was nothing broken to wish that we could stick flowers in. Emily Parker picked wildflowers and placed them in her daddy's hands. 6 years of life, and she already knew how to light up his. The blood was blossoming. She still loved red, but the flowers on her shirt had stopped making sense. She tried to pray, but her hands were sculpted for pinch pots, not nearly big enough to ward off death. Hers was the death of bright marker colors for a new child defeated by strong fingers, and our empty solace was the collateral. We neglected neglect and monstrosity as easy parallels because it's easier to point fingers at triggers than at the minds of the rough fingers pulling them. Our hungry fingers pride hatred from each other when we know nothing but our rage and how unifying it is to hate. We justify our anger with the mass of lost innocence. In a sense, we too are bleeding out from your bullet wounds, but instead of bandages, we apply rapid fire. How did this happen? Where did she go? While I ran a brush through her tangled hair this morning, did I remember to tell her that I loved her? A common enemy is not enough. A ruthless maniac will not be enough, but I swear, Emily Parker, I swear you always would have been enough. Chase Kowalski, we see you. Rachel Davino, you were too young. James Mattioli, Benjamin Wheeler, Catherine Hubbard, you would have been beautiful. I'm sure your bright eyes were someone's world, but apparently the twinkling eyes of a child were just not quite bright enough to keep him from extinguishing them. I just wish that you could have blinked a few more times. Let your mama braid wildflowers through your hair before she had to lay them on your grave. You would have grown up to be amazing. Your big hands brushing soft auburn ringlets from your small daughter's face would have made you a hero. Maybe you would have woken her up in the morning. Your big wise hands could have picked her up and twirled her around, packed her lunch and markers for school, touched her soft, pale cheek, and told her that God loves her, so she will always, always be enough.